Hello everybody, Galen Gilmore here. Welcome to the very first video of my new science/astronomy kind of channel, whatever you want to call it, called, Galen Gilmore. Thank you if you've come from the Game and Gilmore channel, but also welcome if you're new, completely new, and probably most of you are going to be since this is a completely new channel. But for the first video here, or the first technically series of videos, since this is going to be like a multi-part kind of video thing, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to find an asteroid and or comet using only my own equipment and my own skills, and maybe not my own knowledge because I've been, reading up and trying to figure out how to do it, but I'm going to go in with it with no knowledge of where other asteroids are and other comets and whatnot to see if I can just find one. I don't want to necessarily discover one because that would be really out of the range of my current equipment, but I think it's possible for me to find one, just find an asteroid, and if I find one, to track it. So yeah, let's just get started, and we'll get to see what my equipment is and what I have and what I'm going to plan to do.
Alright guys, here I am. Just so I can show you what I'm going to do and more easily show you, I've gone into a program called Stellarium, which is a cool night sky program which, shows what's going on here. Now you can see that this is the simulated night sky, and what I want to show you is that is the area in which I want to be able to find these asteroids. So, the solar system is in a kind of a disk shape, right? So all the planets and stuff are in one plane, one orbital plane. And it stands to reason that most of these asteroids are going to be along the same plane too. So that plane is actually this one. See where it says 0 degrees here in this long orange line that goes across the sky here? That is the ecliptic, the solar system's plane in which most of the objects reside on. So most of the asteroids are going to be along this line. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to just photograph along this line, and that's where I'm going to have, or around or close this line, where it's going to have the most chance of finding an asteroid. So I'm probably going to start around Gemini here. I'm going to take a picture here, and then I'm going to move up a little bit. I'm going to take another picture. I'm going to take another picture. I'm going to take another picture. I'm just going to keep going up and around. Um, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to see how long my battery lasts if I just keep going around and around and around and around. I think if my battery lasts enough, I should be able to get through to around here maybe, or so around half the sky about. So if everything goes to plan, then I should be able to get quite a bit done tonight. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So guys, here I am on my front porch. That's where I was sitting earlier. And as you can see, it is going to be a very clear night tonight. You can even see the moon right up there. Not the ideal night since there's going to be a moon, but I think it'll work for us. So if you come around here, you can see I've already got part of my thing set up. So this is my mount here. And inside the little cardboard box here is my telescope here. So my telescope here is a Skywatcher 130 PDS, a astrophotography telescope. So that means it's got a short focal ratio. It's a reflector. It's a astrophotography reflector. So it's got a 130 millimeter diameter mirror and a 2-inch fine focuser. So you can see it's a 10-to-1. So you can focus it like that, or you can use a small knob to make minor adjustments. And it's got a focal ratio of about f5, so that means that it's going to be very wide field and generally very good for astrophotography. And my mount here is a Skywatcher EQ5. I don't have a go-to. I don't have what you might consider to be a like standard mount for astrophotography, which would be the HEQ5. But I think the EQ5 just have some little motors here, just basic right ascension motors that do the job to get about 2 minutes-ish of exposure time without guiding. So I think it actually works pretty well. All right, everybody, as you can see, I finished setting up the entire rig here, as you can see by that little time lapse I had before. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, I've got my EQ5 mount with my Skywatcher 130 PDS on top. And as you can see, this is my camera here. It's a DSLR, a Canon T3i, or also known as a Canon 600D. It's got a cool little flip out screen. It's astro modified, meaning that it can see red infrared wavelengths a lot better than a normal camera. It's got a battery grip right here, so it has a little bit extra more charge than a normal camera. It is hooked up to the telescope like this in the prime focus position, meaning that there's no lens in between here and just the optics of the telescope, so that it sees what the telescope sees basically. And I can't really show you, but I've also got it's hooked up using a coma corrector, which corrects like some deficiencies in the telescope, and then also has a light pollution filter in there as to block out some of the light pollution from street lamps in the city and whatnot. So that's cool, and it's also shaping up to be a very great night. As you can see, still perfectly crystal clear, moon still up there, looking great. So this should be good. Hey guys, so I don't know if you can see this here. I'm pretty sure you can, but you can see Venus up here in the evening sky. Venus usually shows up in the mornings or the evenings. It's where it's most visible, and it's actually the second or the third brightest thing in the sky, second only to the moon and the sun. So just as a little test here, I've actually got it right here in the camera. If I just, sorry, it's a little bit, it's like out of focus here. Like the actual iPhone won't focus. There we go. Like, I don't know if I can get this any more focused on the actual on the telescope, but as you can see, it's there in its usual crescent shape, so that's very nice, just to prove it's all working. So it is almost 9 o'clock. I think it's around 8:40, and as you can see, it's getting pretty dark out here, although, you know, it's still pretty light out. You can see Venus up there, and you can see the moon up there too, so I mean, you can't see me at all because I'm using my phone, but there I am. But yeah, probably pretty ready to start here pretty soon. As soon as it starts getting a little bit darker, I'll be ready to go. Hey guys, so I've started my imaging here. I've been out looking at the stars with my dad and have started doing, I took a couple of images here along the ecliptic because that's where you're going to find most of the asteroids. Only problem is that dang moon is really bright, and I don't think that I'm going to really be able to, like, I probably could, but I guess we'll see how that goes. I think when I start, I think I might like skip over the moon at some point, and like just when I start getting close to the moon, it starts getting too bright. I think I'm just gonna skip over it, and then go to the other side where it's a little bit darker. Hello guys, I am here, and I have already finished everything. And it is now the day after I have already photographed everything. So I think I had gotten around 27 images or 26 before my camera battery died. I'm not sure why it died so early in the night, but I'm trying to figure out if I can fix that. But anyways, I've got the images. I got through around where I thought I would. Um, and so here I'm just going to start downloading the images. There's one test moonshot there, and you can see that these are the kind of images that I'm going to be testing on, just kind of random images of the night sky here that I will test to see if they have any abnormalities in them, or asteroids as they would be. So we're going to go ahead and let them download here, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back here and all the images have downloaded. Um, I gotta remember where um, they actually downloaded to, so let me let me actually check here. Alright, so I actually have my my folder here, which I'm actually going to drag onto the desktop there, and
You can see here is the folder with all the files in there. There's a test moonshot you can see, and then all of the files that I took last night. Um, so we are just going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to be doing this. So here is astrometry.net, where I will actually be putting them in. So I'm going to go ahead to upload here. I'm going to upload using the files. Nope, not that. I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to go to this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start on one of them. I don't know which one I should do. I'm going to ignore that one. I might do that one last. But I'm going to go ahead and start in this one here. I'm going to go ahead and upload. And then it should take this file, and then it's going to figure out where exactly in the sky it is. So I'll be right back once this does its thing. Alright guys, I'm back, and you can see that the first one has went ahead and loaded in. So I'm going to go ahead and go to results page, and we can see here that, oh, that's interesting. Is that a satellite? Is that what that is? Anyways, you can see that it is figured out where in the sky it is. Oh, NGC 2304. So we actually got an open cluster in there in that image. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and check real quickly. I'm gonna check to see what that is, because I'm kind of curious to see what NGC 2304 is. Yes, so it looks like NGC 2304 is in fact an open cluster. Looks from the looks of it a very faint one, magnitude 10, but it is in fact there. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, this isn't exactly what I want here. What I actually want, ooh, just want to check this. No, never mind, not what I want. What I actually want is this thing, Worldwide Telescope, view in Worldwide Telescope. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and do this, and as you can see, it opens it up in the American Astronomical Society Worldwide Telescope, which is just an entire star map that you can use in the browser, and it's pretty cool. But as you can see that it's overlaid our image over the entire star map. So you can see this is Gemini, so we were right here, and this is just basically where we photographed it. And as you can see here, um, if I write down here the image crossfade, I can do that, and as you can see, it overlays perfectly onto there. So basically, the process here is to blink the image to see if there is any sign of a comet anywhere. Just notice that a galaxy right there. I don't think I caught that in my image. Nope. Cool nonetheless, though. But you can actually see the open cluster down here in the worldwide telescope image. You can see there's an open cluster there, and if you do that, you can just barely see it there a little bit. So that's pretty neat. But I'll get back to you to see if I actually find anything. All right, guys. One thing I noticed is actually very hard to make out things because I haven't. This is actually an unedited picture here. So when I do this and I cycle between the black and like basically the white, it's really hard to see anything because it's really straining on the eyes. I'm like gonna have a seizure here. So I'm actually gonna come back here and I'm gonna see what I can do about that. All right, guys. So obviously one of the goals for my project here, or actually the main goal of the project here, is to find a comet or asteroid. But also along the way, I mean, finding other stuff that I didn't know was there is cool too. So just a little thing here. You can actually see right in the middle of the frame here is this little asteroid, or not asteroid, a galaxy called NGC 2339, and you can actually see that picks up in the image. So in my image, you can. It's very, very hard to tell, but it's actually almost more visible when you zoom out here. That you can see that you got a star there, you got some stars there, and then right in the middle there, right where my mouse is circling, is like just a little smudgy smudge, and you can see that that's exactly where the galaxy is when you fade the image in and out. So I think that's actually pretty neat. I'm also just looking around, looking at all the stars and whatnot. Um, There's another little galaxy right there, although that's not picking up in my image. I don't think. Nah, way too faint. It would be cool though. But yeah, I don't think there's an asteroid in this image. I'll keep looking, but I think I'll come back to you if I find something else cool in another one of these images. So see you around. Hello, everybody. Another update here. Still no comments or asteroids as of yet, but I have found another really cool thing here. You see this star here? You see how it's you can actually kind of see it as two stars. You can kind of see that this one on the right here is an orange star, and then this one on the left is actually a blue star. You see how they're two separate stars, pretty much. When I tone it down, though, you can see those same two stars, but they appear to be in different locations than they were before. You can see that this time on here, the orange star is actually kind of is right on the left there, and then the blue star is actually kind of up and to the right here, which is actually really interesting because you can see everything else matches up pretty much perfectly. You can see that the everything shifts over just a tiny bit because it's not perfect, but you can actually see that that star shifts position, which is actually quite interesting. Now that could be anything. I'd have to like go back and image that again and with some better um, with more frames and to like stack it and whatnot. But depending on when this image was taken, when this whole thing was done, um, it's always possible that this could be some kind of some kind of a or I was gonna say a double star system, and I mean it could be, although I'm not so quite sure about that. I mean, it could be just some really fast-moving star. If this image was taken around 2010 or something, you know, it it could be possible that this star could have shifted from over here to go right over here, just even if just by a little bit. I mean, that's something, and I think that's actually quite interesting. Um, could probably figure out what star this is. Could write down the coordinates here. You can see right here's the coordinates: right ascension 7 hours 14 minutes 8 seconds, and declination of plus 18. Um, so we'll probably go back and take a look at that and see if anybody else has seen the same thing or something else. But uh, I guess we'll see. But I think that's quite interesting. So let you know if I find something else like this going through the images. All right, everybody. Um, still haven't found any what I'm looking for, like still haven't found any asteroids or comets here, but I thought this was worth mentioning. I haven't found anything super significant in this time, but I thought I would point this one out, that I found two little spiral galaxies here that I was actually able to make out without even blinking it. You can see one right here, it's a little smudge right there. You can almost even see the spiral a little bit with the core there and the spiral arms going out that way. And then you can see an edge-on spiral galaxy right here. It's a little bit easier to see when you zoom it out a little bit, but you can see the core right there and the edges of the galaxy that go out like that, edge on, and you can see uh, faded out. The uh, you can see how it lines up in my image. So you can see there's spiral arms in that one. There's the edge-on galaxy in that one, and you can see it matches up pretty well, and you can see it pretty well in my image. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Um, although besides that, nothing super significant since my last update. So guys, here we go. So just to show you where I'm at here, I started over here in Gemini, made my way across. The moon was right around here in Cancer, so we kind of took some images up to there and then skipped over the moon into Leo. And so that's kind of the reason why we're actually finding so many galaxies along this region, is because Leo and Virgo over here are just full of galaxies and galaxy clusters and whatnot. One of the most famous here is actually the Leo triplet of galaxies here, which is a popular astrophotography target. Um, although I'm not there right now, I actually want to show you is over here. I found a neat little cluster of galaxies that I didn't know existed. Doesn't really show up on too many star charts. Well, it does, but usually you don't notice it all that much because they're actually quite dim compared to the other ones that are more popular. But I thought it was worth mentioning because they're actually the brightest galaxies that I've seen so far. I didn't even have to blink the image in order to see that there's an elliptical galaxy here, an elliptical galaxy here, some other galaxies there. I think there's one that might just be a star, but I know there's one in there. Here's one over here. I think that might be one. I know there's one up here somewhere. I know there's one up here somewhere, but I'll blink the image just so you can see. Um, these are the bright ones, though, the bright cluster. You can see, there we go. So we got 3 big, bright elliptical galaxies here, which are probably really far away. I haven't checked. Probably go back to this and check to see like how big they are and their distance and whatnot. But I think it's pretty cool. I think that might be a spiral. That's also another elliptical galaxy. Can't tell if it's further or if it's just smaller, although if I had to guess, it's probably further away. Um, this looks like a spiral to me over here. You can see there's a neighboring uh, like spiral way off in the distance, but that does not show up in my image. But this one does. You can see this shows up. Uh, but you can see it's pretty nice spiral galaxy. Oh, it doesn't really have like any really arms. It's just kind of a disk with kind of like a bright core with some bands separating everything, and then an outer layer like that. In my image, only the core shows up, but it's enough for me. Let's see here. It's a galaxy right there. I know there's one up here. There's one there. I don't know if that really shows up in it. Not really. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit. And then maybe I think there's one that shows up over here somewhere. Honestly, I can't quite remember. Oh, I think there's one right there. You can kind of see there's a little bit of noise right there, which is not noise. It's actually a galaxy. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. Still no asteroids or comets, not yet. That's to be expected though. Uh, Galaxies and comets are pretty spread out. The bright ones are few and far between, but these galaxies and other stuff are going to be pretty common. So I'm going to be finding a lot of these, which I find really interesting. So get back to you with any other updates, I suppose. All right, guys, I just finished doing every single image. Um, wasn't too many interesting things in the images I didn't show, so I got about 27 images. Um, and I think maybe only six of ish of those I really found interesting enough to record for you guys. Um, can't actually remember how many I did, 5 or 6 or something like that. But yeah, that's all the images finished. On Sunday, which I'm recording this on Saturday, on Sunday I should have another clear night, so I should be able to continue what I was doing last time. As you can see, I kind of got away from the ecliptic a little bit. This is the ecliptic here, the blue like dashed line here. So I kind of got away from that a little bit. So um, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'll do a little couple test shots, maybe around right here on the Leo triplet, and then uh, somewhere else too, and then I'll start right here, and then I'll keep going again. I'll maybe go along here some. Uh, I think I might actually take a trip up here, up in this area here, which may seem a little bit odd, but there are a bunch of galaxies over there, and it's still pretty close to the ecliptic. So I think I might start here and come up here and do some runs along, some images along this area. So I guess we'll just see how that turns out. But so far, it was actually pretty successful. Obviously, no asteroids or comets yet, but found a lot of other cool stuff. So I guess that's it for this time. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.